All right, listeners, welcome to another installment of Free Game Fridays. I didn't prep Jada that I was about to say all this at the beginning, but I'm joined by San Diego Black Chamber of Commerce's 40 under 40 Black entrepreneurs, recently celebrating a birthday of Black beauty near you. Feel like I'm on a podcast with a damn celebrity. I had to send Jada a check to get her on the pod. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, that's funny because what, Kylie, we all be looking up to you, but I'm gonna leave that aside.
Hey, I'm looking at the 40 under 40 list on my screen right here. My picture ain't on there. I'm looking up to you, big dog.
Next year, we got you on there. We won't both be on there. But yes, I love Free Game Fridays. It's always fun to hear. It's always a good time. And I'm ready to put y'all on to something else that y'all need to tap into.
Yes, we're ready to put y'all on. And I think my favorite part of Free Game Fridays that has developed kind of organically, I just kind of text you about a topic and then it's like, oh, we just talked about that on 4 Deep. And I'm like, oh, great. So this is kind of like, it's like a little appendix to the 4 Deep pod. So if y'all haven't tapped in with the latest episode of 4 Deep pod, make sure y'all go over to the 4 Deep feed, tap in. Y'all been getting 4 Deep on the 4 Deep pod. Y'all been living up to expectation, I will say. Y'all been going 4 Deep with the 4 Deep.
Okay, because we've been getting all our shenanigans out now that we have the new segment Potty Mouth. And so when it comes to episode time, we getting into it. There are no shenanigans. This episode that comes out this Friday, tomorrow, this it's not as deep, but y'all are gonna like it. So it'll be 4D in another way. But yeah, we've been getting real deep. That's what we do.
That's what they do, the Quad Pod gang. But today's Free Game Friday, we're talking about supportive friendships, making friends, maintaining friends, all about friends, just because, community is how we do all of this thing called life. And I think that especially over the last few years when the coronavirus has like separated people, set people on different pathways, people are living in completely different phases of life and not as connected with each other, I think we lose sight of how we truly maintain friends because we're so connected, but at the same time, we're not anymore.
Right. Like social media makes it seem like we know everybody, we tapped in. And that's one way I do really appreciate it because you kind of have a gist of what's going on with everyone. But like, I notice when I'm missing out on when I actually go out, sit down with my friends and have lunch and we just get it all out. And we're like, wow, this is what we've been going through or this what's been going on. So yeah, having that community is really important. And it is different than just, being connected on social media for sure.
Absolutely. And of course, we've been targeting a lot of our content towards kind of the college age group. And so I think one of the ways that we wanted to start this episode specifically was talking about picking the right friends in college with emphasis on the right friends, because you're introduced to so many people when you're going through X amount of years in a college environment. You're going to be friends with a lot of people, but I think it's so crucial that you pick the right group of people that are going to be part of your core friends. That way, after college, you know who you can lean on, you know who's going to be supporting you, you know who's going to be around in a lot of different capacities. So how do you feel like you went about picking your right friends in college?
Honestly, I feel like a lot of it went into the organizations I became a part of. That's where a lot of my friendships and long-lasting friendships came from, because that was basically me putting, not only did I enjoy, joining orgs like BSU or being an intern at the BRC or joining Women in Computing, whatever it may be, those orgs also contain people who have similar goals as me and are like motivated like me, want to do something like me. And so that's really like a big step. Like, get involved somewhere, and the people that are similar to you will gravitate towards you. And keeping them friends and making those relationships last is taking that relationship outside of just that org or community. Like, cultivate that. Like, I remember when we became interns, we literally had a sleepover. Like, that 1 week where we do training and stuff, one of the nights we just had an intern sleepover just to get to know one another more. And that's really what hit it off for us. And so cultivating those relationships as well, and make it natural. Like, we didn't have this sleepover and was like, we feel this type of way about somebody. Like, the vibe was there. So
Yeah.
if it's good, lean into it. Don't, shy away from it. I know we have our moments like, oh, I've been done dirty, or I had a best friend who did this to me. But, if it feels genuine, go for it. And, some things don't last, but some things do. So it's better to take that chance for sure.
Yeah, taking chances is so crucial. And I think that's really what a lot of those college friendships become or start as. They're just like taking chances and putting yourself
Mm-hmm.
out there to extend like olive branch to somebody and see if they take the other end of that and see if y'all become friends. Like listeners
Yeah.
to the banquet hall, they know that I recently had Cambry on the podcast, and we were talking about how
Mm-hmm.
our friendship started. We just met up in the laundry room and was just talking about life for like 3 hours. And it's like those types of things. It's
Wow.
like you could put yourself in a position where it's like, oh, like, do I really am I cool enough to really just kick it with this person and just talk about my life? But it's like, yeah, like let's make
Yeah.
friends, let's get to know people. And you just never know what friendships develop in the most random parts of college. And it's just from, like you said,
Yeah.
getting involved, putting yourself out there and being open to the idea of a friend.
Yeah, that's so true. Like you could go to an event that you wasn't even trying to go to for real. And maybe the other person that you meet, you become friends with, wasn't trying to go there for real either. But
Exactly.
y'all met each other and y'all can bond over that and then get out of that space and do other things together. So you really just got to try new things. I know they always say it when you're in college, try new things, do this, but like it's true. It's true. And especially because, y'all are in this space, this college space, and you need to be surrounded around people who get it, because of course you're going to have your friends and family from back home, whether they go to a different college, whether they're just your family, whether they do this, that, and the third, and that's cool, but you need people who get it. It's one thing to go to college and have that universal experience, but people that are on your campus and are going through what you're going through, because every college's struggle is different. Some are similar in some
Mm.
ways, but that college struggle gets real specific sometimes. So you need some people that are near you and who get it to have by your side. And yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the whole friends. You're gonna make a lot of friends. I love to say, associates versus
Yeah.
friends. That's a whole nother thing. But really just, pay attention to where you draw that line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that a couple of things come to mind. One, I think that it's so crucial to stick to what you're interested in, because you mentioned like you might go to an event that you weren't even trying to go to. The person you meet might not be trying to go to
Mm-hmm.
the event. I think some of my fondest nights in college were when everybody was going to some party or kickback. And I was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not trying to go to this. Like, I don't care how many of y'all trying to go. I'm not interested. And then just me saying that I'm not interested, somebody else would be like, oh, I wasn't really trying to go either. Somebody else would be like,
See?
oh, I was really trying to just kick back and watch a movie. I'm like, oh, damn, that's dope. I would much rather just sit and watch a movie. So then we just have this movie night impromptu because we all wasn't trying to go to this thing that
Yeah,
people just thought we was all trying to
exactly.
go to. And I just had so many of those nights. But as well as like just like I said, it goes back to putting yourself out there in the most random situations, because I remember at ABC conference when it was in Irvine, we didn't have anything to do. And we was like, hey, y'all trying to just sit in a hotel hallway and talk? And we was like, yeah. Then some other students from UC Santa Cruz came and it was like, what y'all up to? Oh, we just talking, asking each other questions. And it's like, oh, can we join y'all? Then we just had this hallway of
Okay.
Black students just talking to each other. And literally one of the people from that hallway, we're such great friends now. And it's just because we randomly was in that hallway. So, hey, if you're listening to this and you've been like walking past some random Black student in your dorm, if you're in Black housing and you see somebody in an elevator every single night and you don't say something, just be like, what's up? You never know what y'all might have in common.
Right. Just say something. And it's college, like campus is big. You might not ever see that person ever again. So even if it goes wrong, just move past. You can move
Yeah,
past
bye.
it. Exactly. And that's really how it is. Like, regardless of the situation, whether you're on campus, whether you're off campus, say you go to a social or whatever, and you're introducing yourself to somebody, and maybe that conversation y'all have that day, you did not like it. You're like, okay, this person is not for me. Y'all never got to see that person again. But it could be your dog for life. So you got to get out there. Like That's really it. And go to all of those events that you are interested in. And it doesn't even have to be related to academics or professional. It can be fun things too.
Yeah.
And I really love how like y'all bonded off the fact, like we don't want to go here. So what else can we do? That's so good.
Yeah. Because people be afraid to say no to some stuff that everybody's doing.
Yes.
And honestly, like I think that's kind of my calling card at UCSD. People knew if I don't care if it was Kappa Toga, Kappa Christmas, Sigma Halloween, if the Lakers was on at 7:30, I'm not y'all not pre-gaming here. I'm not driving nobody nowhere. I'm watching the game and I'm chilling tonight. Like that was my plan. I don't care what y'all doing. But you mentioned something that kind of leads into our second bullet point about just different friend groups, forming boundaries with friends, because you mentioned that you're not going to vibe with everybody that you run into. And if you don't, then that's okay. Things happen. And I think one of the things I want to make sure I said on this podcast was that with college, like you said, it's such a specific experience. Like we both went to the same university. We've experienced the same situation, the same environment. And I feel like once you see how people respond to those specific specificities at that college, that's how you really understand what values align with yours and what don't. Because everybody's like, oh, like we feel this way. And then somebody in the group's like, nah, I feel this way. Then I got to take that mental notice. Like,
okay.
Let me draw this boundary right here for now.
Okay, that's so true. Like, oh, I see what it is. Or maybe like you was on the alternate side too, and they said it to you. Like, see, that's why I mess with you.
Exactly. I've had plenty of those moments where you just make everybody in a meeting agreeing with something. You just looking around and you're like, oh, you peep what I peep. Like, I'm gonna talk to you later.
Yeah, and that's just really about being true to who you are. You can put up this facade. You can, try to be a people pleaser as much as you can. You can try to fit in with the crowd, but that's not going to benefit you in the long run because you're just going to be surrounded by a whole bunch of people that you don't like. And nobody's going to win from that. And so be as true to you as you can, as you feel comfortable with. And you should, it's easier said than done, but you should feel comfortable doing that because you'll bring and you'll, what's the word? You'll attract people who are like that and who are similar and who are with who you really are to the core. So don't be afraid to be honest. Don't be afraid to say how you really feel. Don't be afraid to, do what you want to do because that's just what you want to do and that's how you feel. Because you're not alone. There's too many people in this world for you to be.
There's way too many people in this world. And I think sometimes we lose track of that when we go to like PWIs that have a small percentage of Black students, because you might feel like just because we're all Black, we're all supposed to get along perfectly and be friends, when that's not the case. Like Blackness is a diaspora. Black people are coming from all around the world on these college environments. So yes, you can be for the people and like unite and have that retention from being Black. But it's going to be times where some Black students you just don't rock with. And that's cool.
Yeah. I learned that fast. Like, and it's weird because in high school, I went to a school majority Black and Latino. And, it wasn't that deep also in high school.
Yeah.
But then you get to college and life starts lifing and events start eventing and you start realizing how certain people react to certain things and how people grow up. And because like being at a PWI, you're in this space. So when you see a Black person, you're like, oh my gosh, finally someone I can bond with. Sometimes it'll kind of take you a step back when you're like, we really not the same like I thought we would be. and that's okay. That's a wake-up call and was a wake-up call for me that not all Black people are the same. We are multidimensional. We come from different backgrounds, different experiences, different income, all that stuff. And so it really varies. But also, like you were saying, that's where you draw your boundaries and, figure out, okay, like this set of friends, this is who I would do this with. This set of friends or this person is who I would do this with. Not everybody is going to fulfill all your interests and nobody's going to be you. You cannot be looking for a friend that is exactly you. That's not how this works.
Not at
even
all.
Twins aren't exactly like their other twin. That's not how this is going to happen. And so if you're looking for someone who who agrees with everything you do, who's interested in every single thing you do that you talk about. You're looking for a mirror. Like, babe, just put up the mirror and talk to yourself because that's what you want to do.
Go to therapy is what you
Everybody's
need.
yes, that's a whole nother issue. And so, yeah, like if you really look at it, if you see best friends right now or super close friends, they're not exactly the same, but they just mesh so perfectly. That's what makes them best friends. It's not because they're the same exact person. And so you have to realize that the friends that you do have, even though they may not be your best friend, they're not going to be able to cater to everything. Some people you might go see this certain movie with. Some people are around for when it comes to when it's time to talk about something deep and you really need to get into it. Shout out for deep. And some people, like are the fun friends, the concert friends. Some people are the concert friends and the friends that like to get deep.
Mm-hmm.
It really varies. And so, yeah, but don't expect everything out of someone, because if someone expected that from you, you would look at them like, are you insane? So don't expect that from someone else, please.
Crown Ellen, Bay Area, a proud sponsor of the Banquet Hall podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, please don't expect that from someone else. And it just makes life so much more enjoyable when you really know what friends to reach out to for what you need in your life.
Yeah.
Because as a very like trivial example, like if I hit up like one person and be like, oh, like, did y'all hear this new Kanye? Certain friends, they're gonna be like, dang, you still listen to Kanye? Like, why would you do that? Cancel him, yada, yada, yada. But then, like, sometimes I might need to go to my dog who's just gonna be like, "Damn, did you hear that bar he dropped?" Like,
yes,
yeah, we
exactly.
know the Kanye story. We know what we doing as a society. But did you hear this bar though?
Exactly. You gotta have those certain people that you can go to. Okay, that's real. That's so real. Because I got some friends that should have canceled some people that I think should be canceled. But that's my business. But I love them in so many other ways. I'm just like, when it comes to this, we just not gonna talk about that. And that's okay. Yeah. It doesn't anything too major, like a flaw to their character.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you just gotta know who to go to and who not to, for sure.
Yeah, like some people just want to kiki with and whatnot. That's why I love the potty mouth segment of 4D, because it's like alternating Fridays, we getting deep with it, and sometimes we just shooting the shit, like just chop it up.
Exactly. I'm glad that you like that too, because that's kind of how we wanted to set it up too. We're doing all this in one episode, but what if nobody cares about us kikiing up? What if they want to just get into it straight ahead? We made that separation for y'all because we understood that. So I'm happy to hear.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think that goes perfectly into well, we had touched a lot on this next step about you can't make friends without putting yourself out there. But like seriously, you cannot make friends without putting yourself out there. And with me, I used to be, and when I say used to be, I mean probably like the beginning of this year, used to be big on like, oh, like I'm not the type of friend who makes plans, but if you hit me up, I'm there. But like sometimes I have to put in the effort. That would be nice to do a little one too, because everything that my friends suggest for us to do, there's some things that they might not be thinking about that I really want to do with my friends, and I can't just be waiting around like, I hope they bring out this fun opportunity so we can do it together. Like, you know how that makes me sound? And so I really have to take a step back and be like, Jada, it's okay. I think definitely some traumatizing experiences of trying to put together events or things of that sort, and people don't follow up, but we live, we learn, and we grow. And so yeah, I learned it's good to reach out and make plans, and it doesn't have to be something big. Nobody said book a trip to Las Vegas. Don't got to be doing all that. It can be simple as going to get some lunch, going to a dance class together, going to the movies, whatever it may be, but just having that time for you and your friend or your friends to bond in person and be reminded, this is why y'all are my people. We need that. We need those in-person relationships for sure. That's how humans work.
Yeah, that's literally how humans work. And it's normal for people to want to be around each other. It's normal for people to want to be around their friends. And I also think it's very normal to sit around and be like, dang, like nobody invited me to this cool thing yet. Like that's all normal. Like it's just
Yeah.
part of the human experience. But I think if I were to give one kind of gem or advice for Free Game Friday, it would be just be honest with that need and that one of yours. Like I think that more people are open to making new connections with people than it might seem. Like there's been several people I'll just see them post something on their story and just respond to their story like, oh, like, dang, this is really dope. We should talk about this more. Or, hey, like, I know you mentioned like you really like poetry. Do you want to go to this open mic? Or, hey, like, I'm just trying to connect with people in San Diego. I don't have that many friends out here. Y'all trying to get coffee? Like, if you put yourself out there, it takes courage, but it will yield such great results if you just take that initial step to plan something, do something. Like you said, it doesn't have to be that big. You could be like, hey, I got a deck of cards and a table at the house. Y'all trying to have a game night? Everybody loves game nights.
Like, so true. And that was one thing that I used to do a lot in LA. Like if I would go home during winter break, I would have a game night often just for us all to come together and just chill and have fun. It doesn't have to be nothing deep. Just I want to see you in person, make sure you doing good, make sure you're well. And this is forcing us to do that and to have fun together. So yeah, it don't have to be nothing too special. But yeah, I think that's definitely one to take is reach out to people and don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. I mean, it's okay to be shy, but don't be embarrassed. Don't have shame to do it because people are gonna feel the same way 9 times out of 10. They be wanting to make new friends too.
Yeah, nobody likes being alone all the time. Like people want to make friends. And I think especially as we navigate young adult life, like you've outgrown some friends that you've made in college, you've outgrown some friends you've made since college. And that's all a part of the natural progression of, I feel, friendships, relationships in life. And I think that that's kind of the last thing I wanted to mention on my end for the podcast is that I feel like it's very mature to be able to reflect on friendships that you've had and realize what friendships don't serve you anymore. But at the same side of that, I don't think you have to burn the bridge right away. Like, I'm not a fan of like either we're absolutely friends or we're absolutely not friends. Like there's people that I don't have an active relationship or friendship with, but like I still have love for them. It's just we outgrew that phase of life with each other and it's all love. But I wouldn't call you, going back to the associates versus friends thing, I wouldn't call you like one of my closest friends anymore.
Exactly. And it's important to make that distinction too, because then that allows you to know where to place yourself in that friendship and what to expect. If you calling everybody close friend, you expecting everybody to be there for you, know every event that's going on, and that's just
and when they don't, you mad.
Like, how you gonna be mad? You expecting all this from somebody who don't even know your mama last name. Like, let's be for real.
Talk about it.
Exactly. And so you have to know what relationships are what that means to you, how that serves you, and vice versa. So you can know what to expect. So you're not expecting 100% from a friendship that's probably just a 60% one. And that's okay. That is okay. But you have to know who is who and what is what to prevent yourself from being in those situations where, you know, you feel like, oh, nobody's there for me, or, oh, I don't have a support system. And, you know, sometimes that situation can be true to a certain extent, but sometimes it's really just us getting into our head and expecting too much from people that have never showed us that's what it was. And so, yeah, it's hard, especially when you're expecting something from a certain person and you have to realize, oh, that's not who that person is in my life. That's what really be doing it for me. Like, dang, like I thought
that's such a freeing sentence. Like, once you realize it's like, oh, you're not playing that role in my life. Cool. Like, let it go.
Yes, exactly. And so it's definitely very mature to be able to do that, but it's necessary and it's hard. But it's gonna make life so much easier once you realize, oh, okay, when I talk to this person, that's what we be doing. That's what we all cool. Now I know. So yeah, just take a step back, reflect on those friendships you have, and take a look at how much energy you're putting into it and then how much you're getting back. Also take a look at how is that friendship benefiting you. And I'm sorry, like people be like, oh, I'm not looking to get with friends. I mean, if you're putting in energy, I think you should be getting something back.
Yeah.
Like, something.
Absolutely.
And it's not a whole monetary thing. It's not a gift for gift type thing. But if you're putting energy into someone, you should be getting something back that benefits you. And so take a look at that. I had to do that. This year was a long one. It was a long one. Did a lot of that for sure this year too. And it's helped me just navigate, where my energy goes. And it also has helped me appreciate the people that I do have in my life that are like my core people. It has helped me do that a lot, because it's like, wow, like I'm focusing on trying to get this from someone, or to get this response from someone, when I have all these other people around me who are just pouring into me, and I can't see it because I'm so focused on this certain person or these certain people. And so it'll really benefit you once you start drawing those lines and reflecting. It's hard, but it'll help in the long run.
Jada, we didn't give them all the gems in the world. I feel like we didn't went on a few different soapboxes. There's a lot of gems in this episode, as usual. I expect nothing less. And I hope the listeners take some of these gems with them. Before we round out the podcast, just kind of want to reiterate, pick the right friends, set the healthy boundaries with the right friends. It's cool if you're not friends with everybody. Like, people outgrow people. People have different needs, different differences. Let friends know what you expect out of them, but also don't expect everything out of your friends at the same time.
Amen.
I think that's just is what it is. And just be intentional and critical about how you reach out to people, how you find community, how you make friends. I think that podcasting has definitely helped me build community around the people that have been in my life and give me ways to interact with people. I also started joining like Discord channels for some of the podcasts I listen to, so I could start engaging with people. Like there's this podcast I listen to called Lessons from the Screenplay, because I'm like a movie nerd now, but none of my friends are movie nerds. So on a similar note, I wasn't going to be reaching out to my friends every time I see a new movie, like, hey, what do y'all think about this? Because they don't, not that they don't give a damn, but like they don't care that much.
They're not doing that. Yeah.
But now I have this Discord channel, this community where when something drops related to film, they're talking about it before I'm talking about it. I'm like, oh, y'all are my people. So highly encourage y'all to join like a Discord channel, join a digital community, a group, whatever it might be. Jada, do you have any suggestions on communities that people can join?
Speaking of, I seen it coming.
You saw that lob, just throw it up there for you.
No, that was perfect. So Black Beauty Near You is launching an online Discord community very, very soon. And if it hasn't dropped by now, it's dropping very soon. And so basically this will be a place for you to connect with other students across the country, other students in your school. And this is just the beginning, like having this online space. I've been looking for something like this for so long. Like TikTok, I love TikTok. Like that's my gang. I want Instagram to be my gang so bad, but TikTok, that's my gang. And all that social media is cool, but I'm like, I want to be able to chop it up with y'all, like for real. And I want y'all to be able to chop it up with each other. A comment section is not enough. And so this new BBNY community that's coming, or is out already by the time you listen to this, is great. So please join it, be a part of it. It's welcome to undergrads, grad students, and alums. So everybody's welcome. There's a place for you in there. And it's gonna be great. So if you're looking to make some friends, if this episode spoke to you, and if you're not in the Discord, you need to get it together, because you're not serious. And so please look out for that. And one thing I also wanted to add, because you said, let people know like what your expectations of them as a friend are, but also let people know what kind of friend that you are. I was just hanging out with one of my friends. She's a boss. She got her own hair salon, this, that, and the third. And she was telling me, she was like, I've realized that I'm not the type of friend to take on, or I'm not the venting friend. Like if you need to vent and just get it all out, I'm not that kind of friend. She was like, I'm there to, offer advice if that's what you want, or offer my opinion, but to just sit there and take on the vent, that's not me. And I'm like, that's valid. You got to know those boundaries within yourself. And so I'm trying to, learn that about myself, and things change over time, but just knowing that that's something that I should know about myself, what kind of friend I am, and being able to communicate that to my friends, that helps our relationship, because then that just tells them, how to navigate our friendship, that maybe if I don't act in a certain way, it's not personal. It's just because that's who I am. And so being transparent is really key. Being transparent with yourself and being transparent with your friends will only better the friendship. And that's in a way, like if you're transparent and they don't like it and they leave, that's better for you, because then you got someone in you just eliminated somebody from your life that wasn't really, your true friend. But if they are, they'll stick around and they'll be like, cool, I got it, we still rocking. And so that would be my tidbit to leave y'all off with today.
Excellent. Listeners, Free Game Friday, we brought the heat as usual. Make sure y'all tap in with the BBNY community Discord. Make sure y'all tap in with 4D Podcast. Also go to blackbeautynearyou.com and cop one of them hoodies pretty soon too.
Yes, and when you reached out to me, you're like, you want one in certain colors. I'm gonna do that. And I was thinking like I can make the hoodie colors named after y'all, because like my aunt, my brother, my cousins, they be wanting some, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna get to that, and I don't, like, I be forgetting. It's not because I don't want to, it's just I be forgetting. And so I'm excited to do that too. So y'all be on the lookout for that too, maybe different colorways of the hoodie. And under the description, there will be a description of each name and who y'all are and why you need to pick this color, okay? So cop a hoodie, and sweatpants and sweat shorts are out now. So do with that what you will, but it's cozy season, okay? So get cozy.
It's cozy season. Go ahead and get cozy. Fire up 4D Pod for 4D Friday. Tap in with the Banquet Hall Pod at Banquet Hall Pod, and we'll catch y'all next episode.